7 minutes?
Yes. Thank you.
Speech, I think I need to talk about your objectives. This
Sure.
is speech number 8, and his objectives are to use visual aids that are appropriate for his message in the audience, and use the visual aids correctly with ease and confidence. 5 to 7 minutes. I believe the title of his speech is, let me see. Avoid these 3 foods to lose weight.
Thank you, Mrs. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. A little strange being here tonight in a new location. Try to deal with it as best we can. You can lose weight by avoiding these 3 foods. I'm going to have each one of you hold one.
Oh, don't give me that.
These 3 foods are high fructose corn syrup, very simple sugar, white flour, which is, you know, the worst form of bread, or in a general sense, carbs, and a Snickers, which has one of the worst oils ever, probably in the history of mankind, certainly in the history of mankind, partially hydrogenated vegetable oil. And that also has high fructose corn syrup too. So these are the worst versions of sugars, breads, and fats you probably could find. I went to a mainstream grocery store and purchased these for about $5 very cheaply. So a little bit about the science of what these foods are going to do to you. And this speech is a very gross simplification because you can write books on this topic. Dr. Joel does this for a living. So a little bit about the science behind this. These foods are going to do things like raise your insulin level, leading to greater fat absorption. And it's also going to basically wreak havoc on all areas of all systems of your body, leading to things like diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, just to name a couple of the broad ones. So, can anyone who's holding these foods tonight, or anyone else, tell me why they're hard to avoid, and why, if I tell you if you just avoid these 3 things that you're going to lose weight, why is that hard?
Because they taste good.
Yes, that's one, right.
They're addictive.
I would put those 2 together. One more try.
Convenient?
Yeah, there it is. These foods are literally everywhere. Everywhere. If you go to a mainstream grocery store like Publix, which is actually going in the right direction now, and you walk down every aisle, you're probably going to find one of these things in every aisle. Some aisles, probably 50 to 75% or more, will have one of these ingredients in it. You've really got to have a plan if you want to avoid these 3 foods. You've got to have some knowledge. You've got to have some wisdom. You've got to know if it fits into your lifestyle. You've got to have a budget. You've got to know what satisfies you. If you're not going to eat these foods, you're going to have to know what tastes good to you so you're emotionally satisfied. I mean, there's a lot we'll go into avoiding these 3 foods. And that's because these foods are literally everywhere. Everywhere. So the second one is these foods are extremely addictive. Literally, scientists will sit in labs across the country and world and genetically modify these foods so they taste good and they'll tickle your brain more and you'll want to eat them more. For an example, just think of the situation you're in right now, holding the bread or holding the Snickers. Don't you feel a little bit, if you're hungry, that you may want to eat this? It naturally does that. For a better example, think of when you go to the dinner table and the bread comes and it sits there. Doesn't it tickle your brain more and you start to want to eat it? Well, you're going to have to learn how to, in that instance, you're going to have to learn how to say, no, I would not like the bread, please. Or, when it gets even harder, say you're with friends and the bread comes and maybe even fried mozzarella sticks comes, you know, really bad oil, hydrogenated oil, your brain's going to get really tickled. And it's going to be really hard to turn it down. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'll eat it sometimes in that situation just because I'm so hungry. But you have to be proactive. When I'm at my best, I will have a protein bar or something before I go in, and I will feel satiated. My brain will feel satiated, so I won't have to use as much willpower to turn down that food. Because it takes discipline as well to turn down food when it's sitting directly in front of you. So we've talked about 2 reasons why it's really hard to avoid this food. Because it's convenient, it's there all the time, and also because it will tickle your brain and literally make you want to eat it. Some of you may want to eat it right now. So 2 traits that I alluded to, which I want to just touch upon as I reach the conclusion here, is you need to be proactive and you need to be disciplined when it comes to your food choices, because otherwise you're just going to fall into a vortex. And what better area of your life to practice these traits just because it is so easy. All the food's out there, and you just have to choose the right food, and you have the right plan and build the right lifestyle. It's not so easy to, for instance, earn money or carry on a great relationship. I view that as more unpredictable. But if you develop the traits of being disciplined and being proactive when it comes to your food choices, those may spill over into other areas of your life as well, and that could be a huge opportunity for you. Mrs. Toastmaster. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.